ended up seeing was an American political sphere that shifted, and he found ways. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. He found ways to walk into where those people were. Yes, he was a proud, ultra leftist, and then he became a proud person on the right, largely because he saw shifting towards the right, and that's where his money and his audience could come from. He shifted because more of his listeners shifted, and that's where he drove it to. That's nothing more than consumerism at work.
Which of his beliefs changed in the past 10 years? It's really hard to point out which of his beliefs.
But can I zoom out from him? Because I think there is this, and I see you nodding as well, this kind of bigger question.
Sanders had no problem going on Joe Rogan years ago when Joe Rogan endorsed him. I've been on Rogan's show 3 times. I've probably heard over 100 hours of it in the past decade. A decade ago, Joe Rogan was a Bernie Sanders supporter who would get emotional talking about how important it is to legalize marijuana, who would get emotional talking about how important it is to get Christianity out of politics, in particular on the abortion issue, who had a host of left-wing opinions, including about healthcare. And liberals drove him away by calling him a racist, unearthing jokes he made, calling him a misogynist, really with no...
What he ended up seeing was an American political sphere that shifted, and he found ways. He's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. He found ways to walk into where those people were. Yes, he was a proud, ultra leftist, and then he became a proud person on the right, largely because he saw shifting towards the right, and that's where his money and his audience could come from. He shifted because more of his listeners shifted, and that's where he drove it to. That's nothing more than consumerism at work.
Which of his beliefs changed in the past 10 years? It's really hard to point out which of his beliefs.
But can I zoom out from him? Because I think there is this, and I see you nodding as well, this kind of bigger question.
This lady clearly did not get it. I mean, she's arguing that Joe Rogan shifted his political views to align with a growing right-leaning audience for financial gain. Really? She's pointing out to his endorsement of Donald Trump after previously supporting Bernie Sanders as evidence. Wow. It's a good thing that the brother right there tried to school her, but I don't think they'll give him enough time to properly school her. Besides, we all know Joe Rogan's core beliefs haven't drastically just changed overnight. My observation, the Democratic Party's view have shifted away from Joe Rogan's. That's why he's now somehow leaning right. I don't think his views have changed. It's just that the Democratic Party have moved so much far left that it's unrecognizable, especially on the basic issues like free speech and economic opportunities. They have just pushed him away and his audience, towards this more populist, anti-establishment stand, because they do think that that's what will solve the problem. You cannot blame him.
No problem going on Joe Rogan years ago when Joe Rogan endorsed him. I've been on Rogan's show 3 times. I've probably heard over 100 hours of it in the past decade. A decade ago, Joe Rogan was a Bernie Sanders supporter who would get emotional talking about how important it is to legalize marijuana, who would get emotional talking about how important it is to get Christianity out of politics, in particular on the abortion issue, who had a host of left-wing opinions, including about healthcare. And liberals drove him away by calling him a racist, unearthing jokes he made, calling him a misogynist, really with no evidence.
When you make racist
calling him
jokes
a transphobe,
about people of color,
calling him,
people calling you racist is likely going to happen.
All the time. Calling him transphobic because he didn't like seeing
Fallon Fox. He also didn't love the vaccine thing, right?
Beating up,
to our point earlier.
That also used to be a left-wing opinion, to be against vaccines like 20 years ago. Again, so he actually hasn't shapeshifted very much, to your point. The Democratic Party has shapeshifted and driven him away and alienated his followers.
Who wouldn't agree with that? It's just common sense. And it's really shocking the Democratic Party or those of their representatives on the media. They don't want to smell the coffee. They don't want to face the reality of what happened this election cycle. They just want to console themselves by looking at these vague reasons for why they lost or why Joe Rogan has shifted. They're just beating around the bush, but it's clear, it's right in front of them. The Democratic Party left so many people by moving far left. If they want to continue, it's all left for them. But I don't think they'll win any more elections if they continue with these men in the women's bathroom thing. Now, I think 90% of people don't want that. Even the Democrats, most of them, they don't want it. So if they keep on playing the same book, well, it's at their peril. And the Republicans will be in for the next 10, 15 years. And my personal opinion, that will be good for the world. It'll be good for morality in the society. Unless you want us Wakandans to come there and teach you guys how to be moral. Well, and there we go. The president-elect, or the president, whatever I want to call him, I know so many people don't want to call his real title, but he put out a message out there about Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all, including the radical left lunatics who have worked so hard to destroy our country, but who have miserably failed and will always fail because their ideas and policies are so hopelessly bad that the great people of our nation just gave a landslide victory to those who want to make America great again. Don't worry, our country will soon be respected, productive, fair, and strong, and you will be more than ever before proud to be an American. That's all what we want in Wakanda for you guys, Americans. Be proud to be Americans, okay? Because we are proud to be Wakandans, and I want you guys to leave us alone. So now let's take a look at what Kamala and Waltz have to say for this Thanksgiving. You may start giving some guesses.
Greetings, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving.
Today, we come together to reflect on what we are thankful for and to share our appreciation for one another. Surrounded by family, friends, and those we cherish, we cook our favorite recipes, we share family stories, serve those in need, and give thanks for our blessings.
On Thanksgiving, we also express our gratitude as a nation for our service members and their families who sacrifice so much to protect our nation and our most sacred values.
We are truly grateful for their service.
So again, from our family to yours,
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
What you're about to witness is truly shocking. The word dear is now a sin. I mean, people find it offensive. Really? All right.
Said there's nothing there.
No, they
That's
didn't.
yes, they did.
They said they didn't have enough to indict. That shouldn't be
No,
the standard.
it's a charge, dear.
Okay,
no,
first year.
no,
Excuse
yes,
me.
yeah.
Oh, well,
right.
thank you for the misogyny. Okay, that's
Hold on. I'm just going to stop it right here because we're not going to get off on a wrong foot. Please do not address a grown woman as dear in a condescending tone. Do not do that at my table. You can continue.
Have these guys learned any lesson in this election? Unbelievable. I think Elon Musk should just go and buy CNN at this point. It's unbelievable. They didn't learn anything. Don't address someone as dear. This man is just trying to be polite. Wow. And you take offense on that? Really? America is gone. It's gone. You need some exorcism to come back to where all the other humans in the planet Earth are. I mean, you guys are gone. About 50% anyway. Let me just say, but about 50%. Is it 50? 48% or something. I think Trump won the popular vote by 52, 53, something like that. But yeah, it's still split in middle. Dear, and it's offensive. Wow. Okay, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that. All right. Okay. Whoa. So with all this, I mean, just going back to Joe Rogan, right? All the criticism he faced with this panel. You know, Rogan's massive following and independent platform has really challenged these guys, the mainstream media, traditional media monopoly that they have had for a very long time. They don't have the monopoly on information anymore, so it's really pissing them off. And Joe Rogan's popularity too, alongside, Elon Musk is now on the train. This is really seen by these guys as a very, very big threat. That's why, that's what has led to all these attacks, from outlets like this. CNN, MSNBC, The View. Those are my favorite ladies. They give us lots of content. I don't want them to go out of business. I need them. Okay? But anyway, CNN has faced so many backlash for focusing on this semantics of dear rather than substance. The issues during important discussions like this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So this guest, you look at him, very polite guy, very polite, using the word dear when addressing this lady in green. And she was triggered. Then the host was triggered too. That's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen. Wow. She's actually highlighting concerns about political correctness and censorship within legacy media. I mean, at this time, we just had the election. We just had a referendum on that. And they lost. But they don't understand why they lost. Wow. Really? All right. They should just keep it up. Maybe the Republican will be there for the next 50 years. Anyway, that length of time is not surprising. We know one Democratic leader said he will get this our brothers voting Democratic Party for the next 200 years. So, yeah, I don't want to say it explicitly because I don't know if I will get into trouble, because we all know what YouTube can do. That's the level we are now with this whole America freedom of expression and freedom of speech. You can say it, but it's not guaranteed that it will not be sampled. Anyway, all these events have really highlighted a growing distrust of these traditional media narratives that they have been shoving our throats. And now there is clearly a shift towards independent voices like Joe Rogan. And so many things are now out there, you know, the increasing polarization and sensitivity surrounding this political discourse, particularly regarding issues of free speech and political correctness. That is going out the window. Not this time. 2016, people were scared. Now people are not scared anymore. You may want to cancel them, you end up being canceled. People are not taking it. Okay, they have taken it up to, I think it's almost wishing their nasal nostrils. So just chillax, CNN, chillax. Because now, I mean, if they are done their research, or if they are doing their research, you'll find out that there is this increase in reliance on independent sources. And this will really continue to push this mainstream media down the food chain on information anyway. Yeah, all this now, the heightened sensitivity around language and political correctness, the time has gone, you know. This thing is just hampering normal dialogue. How can you have a conversation if people are being triggered at every statement you make? Then there should be no debate. Why is this lady coming for a debate if she is this triggered? Unbelievable. You're presenting an opportunity for diverse opinion when someone is actually expressing themselves. You're throwing spanner in the mix, in the engine. We're just making the whole thing haywire. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comment section below. This is Black Coffee from Wakanda. I hope you enjoyed this segment. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.